Human, a member of the Homo sapiens species, a man, woman, or child, a person. Rights, things to which you are entitled or allowed, freedoms that are guaranteed. Human rights, the rights you have simply because you are human. It is how you instinctively expect and deserve to be treated as a person has the right to live freely, to express your opinion, and to be treated as an equal. There are many types of rights that apply most to a particular group, but human rights are the only ones that apply to everyone. This means that children, the old, the poor, basketball player, gadgetsmen, rappers, teacher, African, Indians, Albanians, Christian, your mother and your father, your neighbor and all of you have exactly the same human rights, and in other words, they are universal. According to the United Nations, there are a total of 30 human rights, which are usually grouped together and simply called human rights. They are all listed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is the most widely accepted document in the world on the subject. The atrocities of the Second World War made the protection of human rights an international priority. The United Nations was founded in 1945. The United Nations allowed more than 50 member states to contribute to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948. This was the first attempt to set out at a global level the fundamental rights and freedoms shared by all human beings. Human rights protect you in many areas of your day-to-day life, including your right to have and express your own opinions. One of the promoters is Martin Luther King, a man who struck the whole world with his most famous speech, I Have a Dream, in which he conceived a world in which people were no longer divided according to race. Right to an education. An example is Malala, who lived in England for many years after the Taliban in Pakistan shot her in the head at the age of 14 in 2012 for her fervent activism in favor of girls' education and opening more and more schools to her and other local girls. The young activist risked dying but was miraculously saved. Malala, during the United Nations Assembly, explained that books and pens are the most powerful weapons, and that education is the only solution. Right to a private and family life. Giovanni Verga, in his novel Rosso Malpelo, talks about a boy called Rosso Malpelo because of his red hair. Malpelo is abused by everyone, especially by his mother and sister. The only one who reassures him is instead his father, with whom he works in a sand quarry, but who unfortunately dies in his workplace. The boy, thus, finds himself alone. Right not to be mistreated or wrongly punished by the state. This is the case of an Italian boy, Stefano Cucchi, whose story, about which a film was also made, begins on an ordinary evening when he is arrested because he is found in possession of drugs and some epilepsy pad of which suffered. He is taken to the barracks and the pre-trial detention is arranged for him in prison. Seven days later, he died at the Pertini hospital. It is the beginning of a complex legal matter and a long search for the truth, carried out above all by Stefano's sister, Ilaria Cucchi. 10 years later, two carabinieri were sentenced for an intentional murder for 12 years. On the same day, the sentence arrived, which saw 4 doctors prescribed and 1 acquitted. Another important topic is that of the rights of the child. During the Industrial Revolution, children were forced to work in factories because families were very poor and they didn't have enough money to live. Children worked 8 or 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. The theme of the exploitation of the children dominates 2 Blake's poems, called The Chimney Sweeper. Here, Blake focuses on the exploitation of child labor and the damaging effects it has on the children forced to work to save themselves and their families from total destitution. Charles Dickens, in the novel Oliver Twist, describes the life in workhouses.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What? Oliver Twist has asked for more. For more!
Oliver disobeyed the rules of the workhouses in which he lived. When he asked for more food, a bill was passed outside the gate offering a reward of £5 to anybody who would take Oliver. In other words, £5 and Oliver were offered to any man or women.